Hello, and thank you for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. You've tuned into The Encourager, and my name is Nehru. Hope you're doing well today. I hope is it Thursday? Yes, Thursday is going well. I hope that, I'm going to grab some water. So, hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. If you are tuning in for the first time, welcome. You are one of my 5 million subscribers. Thank you very much. That is a joke, but not really. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. We are on a journey, and that journey takes us to various places, or at least it should. It should take you to various places spiritually. It's 11:44. I just looked at the clock. It should take you to various places spiritually, and it should take you to various places physically, emotionally, and all that as well, right? Because it really is a cataclysm. But most of us live through our unconscious minds, and so when we live unconsciously, we do things out of routine, not realizing that essentially we're still sleep dreaming. Okay, so it's great to dream. As I say, it's great to dream, but at some point you got to wake up and actually start doing the work. Okay, and that work could be anything. It could be physical hands, right? Your hands being put to work, going to work, right? Could be your mind going to work, right? It could be your spirit going to work, like in meditation and things like that, right? It could be all sorts of things, right? So faith without works, that works word could mean anything, but faith without works is dead, because if you constantly just stay dreaming, this is why you can't just meditate, okay? Or you just can't pray, right? So it's a combination of things. Again, it's a balance, bringing the natural and the spiritual together, marrying heaven and earth, right? Or 5D, 3D, however you want to word it, right? It's marrying those two things together, right? And we do that not by looking at heaven and earth and saying, what are you doing? Get together. This is why the Father refers to the church as his bride, okay? This is why the Father refers to that. Something very interesting that I found out. The Father has even shown us how he and we are, we hear marriage in the spiritual sense and us being connected to the Father as a marriage. Okay? Jesus is not Yahweh. Okay? He's no more Yahweh than I am. He's no less Yahweh than I am. Okay? But that is not who he is. Right? That's why he sent his son. So stop praying to Jesus, because he's your brother. Okay? He's not your deity. Confirmation. Well, I don't know what that loud noise was. Right? So, again, my goal here in this lifetime, it's my last one, thank goodness. Yeah, thank goodness. And I don't say that like as if I'm pissed or anything. I have said that when I was pissed or upset or angry or frustrated or whatever, right? And again, we have emotions for a reason. The reason for the emotions, right, is because he gave them to us. They're necessary. They help us manage. They're management systems, our emotions are. But when out of control, they're like a crazed dog. Okay? Or a diseased dog, like a dog with mange or something. Like it's, yeah. So anyway, So that's the purpose for why we're all here. Whether we recognize that this lifetime, which is my goal, is to help as many people recognize who they really truly are, help them ascend, stop following false ass leaders who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, using a book that's been raped by man and pillaged, taken from, literally taken the Gospel of Thomas out, specifically the Vatican. The Vatican specifically took out the Gospel of Thomas specifically because it holds secrets to show man how man is actually in control of manifesting, and man does not need to follow another man. Man need only follow himself. They don't want us to know that. And all I gotta ask is, would you ever, 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 ever trust someone who hid a book from you that was supposed to tell you who you really truly are? Would you really trust that person? Would you? Some people do, because some people are just gluttons for punishment and naive and just stubborn. So they don't learn. So this woman, this guy, they keep screwing you over, right? And that's not in a physical sense, right? But in an intention sense, in their actions, right? They constantly show you, I'm not for you. You keep going back. I'm not for you. Then they slap you. I'm not for you. Then they punch you. I'm not for you. Then they kick you. I'm not for you. Then they hurt your child. I'm not for you. Then you go missing from work and they got to do what is it called? Welfare check, right? And they look through the window and see that you're laying on the floor. They've left town with the kid, don't know where they are, right? Because we don't wake the fuck up and recognize who we are and the karmic individuals that we are with, because it's controlling us. Get out of those situations. Leave. Teenage girl, get out of the situation from dating that 20-something, 30-something, 40-something man. Fuck the car, fuck the money, because let me tell you something. First of all, if you're still living under your guardian or parent's house, you are still under their authority. You may not like what they say, right? But you are still under their authority. And if you don't believe me, if you get arrested, guess where the police are going to take you? And they're going to talk to your parents. That goes to show you that you, in some way, if in no other way but in the legal system's eyes, you are too immature to make the decisions that you are trying to make. That's why the police officer took you back to your authority. Okay? Because that man or woman will convince you and your cronies to do something unspeakable because your parent won't let you hang out with them. We see the stories all the time. They make 2020, the court cases, all of it. We see it all the time. The girl who got convinced by the 25-year-old fucker that she's supposed to unalive her parents because they won't allow her to be with him. Dumb shit. All of these things can be avoided if we teach ourselves, first of all, to love ourselves. There's no way someone who loves themselves would unalive their parents, because the unconditional love that they show themselves, right, would also be the unconditional love that they would be exuding. Okay? It's like eating, try to think of something. My Korean special friend Marsha helped me out. What's that smelly cabbage? And she's passed away. We talk though. Yes, the Korean cabbage that they put in a jar, they put it in the ground for whatever time to have it ferment and all of that. What's it called? I forget. But yes, so like that, if you eat that, like garlic, if you eat that, it comes through your pores, right? Kimchi. Thank you, Marsha. Kimchi. Okay? So when you eat that, then it comes through your pores, right? And you can smell that on someone. Okay? So like that, what is inside of us, people can sense. Their energies pick up, even if they're unconscious about those things. Again, I gave the example the other day about how a strong leader of a department changes their energy when they go into the meeting to meet with the over controlling president of the company. They're a department head, and they're good, and they're a good leader, right? And they're strong. But when they go to meet this dominating, energetic individual who's even more in their masculine, that's not a good thing, in their masculine, it should be 50-50, right down the middle, divine masculine to feminine ratio. But he then becomes something of a divine feminine energy, because why? He's going up against this dictator, and he knows that he all he needs to do is, dictator wants him to come in, sit down, do as I say. You will find out if you need to know. Get out of my office and go complete the task. He knows that's how that person is. So he knows he can't come in there, right, with the leadership flaring and all of that he does in his department, because that's his job with this in his department. And those who are subordinate to him need to see that, and they need that leadership. Okay? Right? So recognize where you are, what's happening in your environment. Okay? This morning, before recording this video, pressing record, I shared with us the 12 life path numbers. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 22, and 33 are the life path numbers. Okay, for some reason the recording stopped, and it stopped very early. I literally was probably talking for an hour and a half, and I don't even, because I was going through I was hoping to do all 12, and I knew it was going to be a longer video, but it stopped at, like, I don't even know, 4 minutes in or something, like 5 minutes in maybe or something. So anyway, yes, so I am a life path 7. Okay, and so as a life path 7, we tend to be highly spiritual. We tend to be nomads. We tend to be extremely, and one of the things that particular numerology paragraph that I was reading for life path 7 is, I know for sure, because I am one, that we run the danger of isolating ourselves so much that we really could kind of become antisocial, and that's really, really, really easy for us to do. It's easy for me to do, right? It's easy for me to disappear, because in part, even right now today, I'm kind of halfway living off the grid and like that sort of thing, right? I'm not on social media a lot, other than this YouTube channel. I have a LinkedIn page. I rarely post on there. I have IG. I rarely post on there. I have Facebook, and now I rarely post on there, with all the hacking and all of that stuff, right? So I stopped posting on Facebook, like, regularly a month ago probably, and I haven't posted, I don't know if I've posted anything in the last 6 weeks probably, and I won't for a long time. Why? Because I know that that's a waste of my time in most cases. All of that is a waste of my time. Okay? They used to say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Remember the commercial? right? In some cases, a mind is a good thing to waste, because if you are so focused on the earthly things that you do not see the spiritual things, your life path number, your expression number, you don't know what your birth chart looks like, you don't know what your moon sign is, you don't know where your chakras are located, you don't know where they are. Find out about these things. Do you know about your ancestors? Anything. You can find these things out through what's called your Akashic records. Okay? And this is not a book you can go read. These are supernatural downloads from Most High, Yahweh God. We get these downloads when we are in alignment. This is why every leader that you read about in Scripture had a time when they were isolated. Yeshua was isolated for 40 days and 40 nights. Most every leader, spiritual leader, goes through an isolation period. Most every spiritual leader. Right. Unfortunately, most of them get to the point to where one of the things I mentioned in that video that didn't record, I was talking to myself. One of the things that I mentioned in there is talking about the sun ego and the moon ego, or the dark shadow ego. So what does that look like? So an ego in a good light, I use athletes as an example because they're in spotlight and they perform amazing feats, right? Under crazy conditions. I don't know how many people could hit a three-pointer from half court with 20,000 fans yelling at you because you're playing on the opposing team's court and you knock the shot down. Right? So, understanding where you are and what ego you're functioning through, which egoic nature you're functioning through. Okay, so what does that look like? The good athlete, the example I gave was comparing Terrell Owens to Deion Sanders. Okay, so not Deion Sanders primetime the coach, Deion Sanders the player. Okay, number 21, right? So Terrell Owens, and you could use several. You could use Chad Ochocinco. You could use Chad. Yeah, you could use him. What's his last name actually? Chad. I forget his last name actually. I don't know his last name. And I don't follow sports or anything like that. I've mentioned before that I'm really bad with celebrities and all that stuff. Side note, I jump all over the place. I was thinking about something the other day and it made me laugh. There is no way Beyonce would be with who she's with if it wasn't for the money. Because, physically speaking, let's be honest, he's not a very attractive man. And that's not talking about him. Okay? That's just saying. Okay? So that's something that's very funny. So people stay with people for all sorts of frivolous ass reasons. Even though she don't need his money. Even though. Who knows? Maybe it's real love. So anyway, yes, I hope it is for them, right? So Deion, he didn't talk a big game, right? He's just showed it. He didn't get in the camera, look at me, get your popcorn, blah, blah, blah. He didn't do that, right? But what he did do was he performed on the field. And that's not to say T.O. didn't either. He's probably the second or third best receiver in NFL history, but I do believe he left himself a whole lot of room, right? especially with that thing between his nose and chin. Okay? For improvement. Okay? So that's what it looks like if you want a comparison between what a positive ego looks like. It's this quiet confirmation. Okay? You don't need to walk around with picket signs. It's this quiet confirmation thing, right? So dark side, it looks like controlling. It looks like narcissism, right? That's what it looks like. It looks like micromanagement. That's what the dark side of the ego looks like. Okay? So when looking at how we're functioning in the world today, and if we want to improve ourselves, change what we are attracting, because we want better, we want more quality, not quantity. We want quality. Okay? If that is you, then recognizing the places in you, the shadow places and the sun places, is going to help you. Things like knowing your life path number, things like looking at your life up until this day, whatever age you are, and the things that came to you naturally and the things that you had to fight for, and discerning which of those things point to a passion and the prophecy that you are here to fulfill and which ones do not. Get away from all the shit that does not point to Most High's purpose and plan for you. You may not know all the details, and in fact, it's not for us to know every single detail while we walk around in this flesh suit. It's not for us to know every single detail, right? And again, the military says you're on a need-to-know basis. If you need to know, I will tell you. Okay? I think that's, again, I don't think the Father's quite that pompous. I don't think he's quite that arrogant, right? But I do believe that he lets us know. You don't need to know that right now. What's going to happen in 2028? Whoa, we're in 2023. What are you talking about? Enjoy the day. Why are you worried about next election? What about right now? Right? It's a present. That's why it is the present. It's a gift. Okay? So whatever you're doing today, wherever you are, whenever you come across this message or these words, I hope they are enlightening. I hope that maybe you found a key or two. Perhaps you're more inquisitive. You can contact me in addition to the comment section. You can also contact me via email at theencourager333@gmail.com. Okay, again, that's The Encourager, THEE or THEENCOURAGER. Okay, The Encourager 333, the number, at Gmail. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. You've been tuned in to The Encourager. My name is Nehru, and as always, be encouraged and know that there is a way out of the matrix. You don't have to just watch it through a movie.